dog.
Episode 97. Your Mother Hit Me Dog, the podcast. The Hustler. Yeah, that's all I got.
Oh, well, that was a good intro, I thought.
Thanks. I went back and listened to an old episode of our podcast while I was vacuuming.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it was episode 6.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I can't remember.
You went deep.
Well, yeah, because I've been doing stuff, but I can't actually remember what movie it was. Con Air, right? Pick the movie that I liked, Con Air, and I used to start the episodes like I used to write a monologue and go for it. I don't do that anymore. I guess we've gotten less professional as we've grown older, but that's okay.
I would say that's true. Yeah.
Our core fans, they love what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all that matters. Another thing I did recently was go back to our YouTube and watch some YouTube of us playing Jeopardy and racing Mario Kart and stuff. Which is why
hammer sauce.
I thought exactly some hammer sauce, which is where I got the idea of, hey, this would be good in podcast form. Jeopardy, as long as you hear Alex Trebek, which is where the bonus episode idea came from. We have a bonus episode out. Came out this weekend. Jeopardy. Episode 1.
I got some feedback about that episode, saying that we sounded a lot younger.
Yeah, it was 6 years ago, so it makes sense.
It was 6 years ago.
Mid to late 20s.
Apparently, it's quite a noticeable difference. But yeah, 6 years ago. Time flies. Feels like a little longer than 6 years ago to me, but
I agree. I had to double check that it wasn't just YouTube being like, it was a long time ago. We'll just say it's 6 years, but it was uploaded August of 2017. I guess 7 years.
Oh yeah, that would be 7, basically.
Yeah, I can't do math. It's 7 years. And our Hammer Sauce days only went from August 2017 to the end of September 2017. So we had a month and a half.
Short, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, well.
But yeah, Jeopardy works in podcast form. Mario Kart and hockey do not.
No, there's you need to do a lot of seeing for those ones to work, I would say.
Yeah, and there's 8 Jeopardy episodes we did. So I'll just keep throwing them out randomly.
Why not? People would be interested to hear Saturday. Our early days.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, it's Saturday for episode 2. It's already done. It's just waiting for Saturday. The big problem though is getting Alex to be heard.
Right. Yes, he's a bit quiet in our episodes, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. So a little bit of editing on my part, which is fine. It's fun to jump back into Hammer Sauce. So I recommend you, Jesse, going back and watching some every other time. I don't care about anybody else, but
honestly, I have probably not super recently, but maybe this year I've watched an episode or 2.
Oh wow, good job.
Yeah. Thank you. And it features an intro song sung by yourself, which is quite It's quite concise, I would say, but I think it's expertly done. Truthfully,
it wasn't in episode 1. I think it is in episode 2, though.
Okay,
and then it will continue throughout. But I just put our podcast intro on it because it's podcast intro, but
yeah,
you'll hear it. I'm not going to bother asking you how you are or what you're doing.
Okay.
Because you never answer, but I do have a question for you.
Well, hit me with it.
The Olympics are coming up.
Yeah.
Summer Olympics, Paris, 2024. Next week they start. And so I have a list of all of the events, all of the sports in the Olympics.
Okay, it must be a long list.
It's not that long.
Okay.
I'm not gonna go through every single one, but
okay.
I am gonna ask you just random. I'm gonna say a sport,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna get you to say if you're good or not at it.
Okay.
If you yourself feel like you're good, maybe not Olympic good, but like yeah, I'm good at it, or I'm not good at it.
Okay. I'll answer truthfully.
Okay, we're gonna start easy. Basketball.
Basketball. Yeah, I'm good at basketball.
Do you think you could do it at a college level?
Oh, certainly not. No.
Okay.
No, but like if I were to show up to, Crystal Pool, which is a very popular place for people to play basketball, and just sort of play pickup games, I'd probably be like, one of the better players, I would have to guess.
Because you're tall.
I'm not even that tall, really, but...
Oh, yeah, 5'10". Next one is rowing.
I've never rowed. I've been on a rowing erg, but I've never rowed. But I do feel as though if I were to apply myself to it, I'd be good at it. But I would say right now, probably horrible.
But you could probably do it. If you're thrown into a boat, you could row.
My guess is yes, I could do it.
Archery.
Probably fine. I mean, it's been admittedly quite a long time since I've done archery. Probably back when I was like in Cubs or something.
But you could pick up a bow and shoot it.
Yeah. Actually, for some weird reason, one of the people I paddle with, he like does archery quite regularly. And I went one time with him to like I don't know what you call it, the range or whatever. And he said I was pretty good, so there you go.
Was it outdoors?
Yeah.
Apparently they've closed it recently.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it was
you
like...
can now only shoot during or indoors.
Oh. Yeah, the place I went was like sort of near by the old Island Highway, sort of like, I guess by Fig General, kind of near there.
Oh, the rival hospital.
Yeah.
Badminton.
Nah, I'm not good at badminton.
I was an elite badminton player in high school.
Elite?
Yeah, I just had I played soccer and I just had good stamina.
Mm-hmm.
So like I was pretty quick to move. Like nobody could get it past me.
Right. I could see that. I could see you being very good at badminton.
Softball.
I feel like that's one of those ones where I feel weirdly like I would be excellent at it, despite having not played it in 15 years, probably. I never even played softball. I guess it was softball. I don't know. It was just what I did in high school, like during PE. But I was definitely like one of the best in high school. Not in our school, like wasn't like a baseball school or anything like that. It was just like, normal kids. But I felt like I was good.
Probably softball with the big balls.
Yeah, I guess it was. I've actually thought about that recently. Like, I should join a beer league or whatever, because I kind of like softball.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Karate.
I went to one karate class when I couldn't tell you my exact age, but I would probably guess maybe 7 or 8 years old. And I got about 5 minutes into class, and I cried, and I asked my mom for us to leave, and that's the last I did it. So I would say not good.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
When's the last time you've ridden a bike?
It's been a while. I say maybe late last year's the last time. Some paddler friends and I, we cycled to Sydney to go to all like the breweries that were there, and then cycle back. It's actually quite a lot of fun. But both of my tires went flat because I guess they were pretty old. So I had to be rescued partway through. And I haven't bothered getting the tires fixed since then. But I would say I'm a pretty good cyclist for having not really, I don't really do it that often.
So you probably couldn't do like BMX freestyle, but you could just ride around a track.
Yeah, maybe like road cycling. I don't know if that's an Olympic sport, but
it is.
Yeah, that. Certainly not BMX trick biking.
Last August, for my brother's birthday, we did the same thing. We rode from basically your parents' house to Sydney, and back. And my tire got flat before we left the house, so they had to get a replacement tire. But yeah, that was a painful ride because you go from not riding a bike ever to riding to Sydney and back.
Which I'm assuming you took the Lochside Trail all the way up?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a pretty long ride. I mean, I have done that before, but yeah, it is. I feel like if I hadn't got a flat tire, I would have been okay, but my legs were burning near the end because I actually was, by the time I was done, the whole beer hopping, the brewery hopping, if you will, I was fairly intoxicated. And so I think I rode a good 15, 20 kilometers on mostly flat tires without realizing, and just wondering why my friends were kicking my ass all of a sudden. But yeah.
Yeah, I thought, hey, I walk 25 kilometers a day. I should be fine. No, certainly not.
Didn't quite apply.
Next one is fencing.
I would say probably not that great. My Mackenzie's mom used to do tons of sword fighting. She has shown me some moves before, some technique things. So I mean, I would say I wouldn't be going into it with a completely blank slate. But I mean, I can't imagine I'd be very good.
Scary.
Yeah.
Just a few more.
Okay.
What about flag football?
That's an Olympic sport?
Apparently.
What? Okay. Probably not amazing. I used to play a lot of football in late middle school, early high school, just pickup games all the time. I was fine at it, but I mean, again, that's a long time ago, so who knows?
Okay. What about squash?
Squash. I do like squash. Again, haven't played it since high school, but I remember it being just a ton of fun. So I would have fun, but I can't say I would necessarily do well. Maybe okay.
Okay. Two more. Table tennis.
That's probably up there as one of my better ones. Although it has, again, been a long time since I've done it. But when I was doing it, I played quite often, and I was quite good. So I would say I would do pretty good.
I wonder if 2030 Olympics will see pickleball.
Pickleball, maybe. High octane.
The last one is water polo.
I don't feel like I'd be great at that. I'm just kind of like an average swimmer. I can swim just fine. But I feel like having to keep yourself up and do the whole handball thing, I don't see myself being good at that. Do you think you'd be good at that one?
No. The pool can't, I mean, it can't be that deep, right? You should be able to.
You can't touch the ground. You have to be.
Great point. I never thought of that.
Yeah. I do remember when I first heard of water polo, I thought they were but then it made me think really what's the point of the water? You're just kind of standing in the water, but no, you're literally have to keep yourself up. You're not touching the bottom.
That would be tiring.
Yeah.
the depth should be a minimum of 1.8 meters.
Yeah.
Although it's recommended that reaches 2 meters. What's that in feet? How many meters in a
2
foot?
meters is like 6'8" or something, isn't it? Or something. So I guess like if you're really tall, you can stand.
Yeah, it's about 6'6". Okay, that's exhausting. Anyways, yeah. So I mean, you did pretty well in an Olympics.
Well, I mean, if you were to take every inhabitant of like a normal city and put them into the Olympics, I have to imagine I'd be in the top maybe 20% of those people. That's my guess.
Quite confident.
Well, I mean, how many people in a city are elite athletes? What percentage of people? 5% maybe?
Right. If you eliminate them, then you should be doing pretty well.
So then you get, and then so obviously 5% of people who are elite athletes in particular things are going to, wipe the floor with me. But then you start getting people who are like good athletes, and then the average person. So I don't know. I feel like 20% isn't that egregious. But there's really no way to know unless we have like a Hunger Games type sort of situation and we're forced to do these things. Then we would know.
Okay. Thank you for answering these questions.
You're very welcome.
We will now get to our main topic, and that is the 1961 film The Hustler. Let me just get kind of like a cool little tagline or whatever.
Let's hear the cool little tagline.
An up-and-coming pool player plays a longtime champion in a single high-stakes match. Yeah, I guess.
Kind of. That's not really that accurate.
That did happen. It did happen in the end of the movie. But...
Yeah, but it's not. Yeah, it's not really the plot, though.
No, that's just what IMDb gives me. So
yeah,
I mean, it's not the plot. The plot's 300 words.
Well, yeah, I guess you couldn't really, but still, I mean, I don't know. Anyway,
the Academy Film Archive, which apparently is a big deal, preserved this film in 2003 as like a culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant film. And you fell asleep?
I did in the middle a little bit. I found it to sort of be a little dull in the middle, perhaps. And also, I was tired. So, sue me.
Right. Yeah, the middle probably the worst part of the film. But the middle also very important to the end of the film, kind of.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, I definitely didn't miss that much. I mean, I fell asleep and then I was like, okay, I scrolled back to get to the part where I remember. And it was only like maybe 5 minutes. So.
Right. Okay. So you missed like horse racing?
It was right around the horse racing part, yes. I was right part where he got his thumbs broken.
That was cool. It's a cool part.
Yeah.
They healed pretty nicely.
They did. He had a full arm cast for his broken thumbs.
Well, in 1961, who knows how doctors worked back then? How they even knew how bones healed.
Yeah, they had no idea about thumbs back then.
So other than the boringness, how did you like the film?
I thought overall it was pretty good. Obviously, incredibly well acted, especially from Paul Newman. He knows what he's doing, I would say. I saw that this movie won some Oscars. Do you know what they won the Oscars for?
I feel like that's something I should know. Yes. Best art direction and best cinematography. Well, best art direction, black and white.
Okay.
Best cinematography, black and white. So I guess in 61 there was best art direction, color, and best cinematography, color as well.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
but like it was nominated for Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor, Best Actress, Best Supporting Actor, Best Screenplay. Did not win any of those.
Right. I did think it was quite well acted. Obviously, Paul Newman, and the lady who played Sarah. I thought her character was very interesting and very well acted as well. Piper Laurie is the actress's name, and of course, George C. Scott was in this one too. I recognize him from Patton, and he's been in some things. He's a well-known actor. Dr. Strangelove. But anyway, yeah, so the acting was very nice. I thought the story, I mean, if you were to just, well, like when you told me about this movie, The Hustlers, I thought it was just going to be about pool sharks, which I guess like it is, but it's a lot more than that, I think. I guess it's sort of like the shortcomings of being focused on, like, I guess putting all your chips into one thing, like being good at pool, and how that sort of affects your personal life. I guess that was kind of more what this movie was about.
True.
Yeah.
True. Paul Newman, acting was fantastic. One of the best acted movies we've probably seen in a while.
Yeah.
He didn't win Best Actor for this film. He did win Best Actor Oscar for The Color of Money, the sequel with Tom Cruise. But from what I've read, it was like an honorary. Basically, like he only won it because he was passed up for other films.
Right.
Like he didn't win for other stuff. So it's kind of like, oh, you won because of your work.
Right.
You didn't win because of the film.
Right.
I think probably Jack Nicholson got an actor or got an award for that as well. There's been a few instances where an actor wins even though it was not his best work.
Yeah, people said that about Leonardo DiCaprio when he ended up winning his for The Revenant. Not that his performance in The Revenant was bad, but I think there was probably he had better. So but yeah.
Piper Laurie as what's her face? Sarah. Sarah, what a wild name for 1961. But yeah, she played the drunk part pretty well.
Yeah.
Pretty believable.
Yeah, I just liked that her character wasn't like flat. I feel like movies from like the 50s and 60s, the women are always, they're really there to serve the plot for the men, typically.
Yeah.
But I think she was much more than that in this one. Just a lot more well-rounded and just interesting.
She might have been the only woman in the movie.
Yeah. Like pretty much. I couldn't think of any other woman that says anything.
No, it's just like in the cast, the only other woman is waitress.
Yeah.
Jackie Gleason as Minnesota Fats, another wonderful name.
Great name, and I liked his performance too. It was like pretty subtle. Obviously, he doesn't like say a whole ton, but I thought it was interesting as well.
Call him Fats a lot.
Fats. Hey, Fats. Yeah, I guess I found this interesting too because Paul Newman's character, like, he's not a particularly likable dude. So it was kind of interesting having, I don't know, it was kind of like a bit of a roller coaster. Like sometimes you're rooting for him and sometimes you're not so much. Especially when the way he was treating Sarah through the whole thing. It's like, dude, you don't deserve to be even talking to her. You're just kind of like a piece of shit. And obviously at the end that all culminates into, tragedy, really.
Because she dies?
Well, yeah, she kills herself.
Yeah, but it's only because she does that Eddie comes back to challenge Fats.
That's true. But I did like how they did address that at the end. Like when him and when Eddie and Bert are in the pool hall or whatever you want to call it at the end, and they're like, the reason she's dead is you and I, you know that, right? He's like, well, no, it wasn't really, and he's like, no, it was us. So I mean, I'm glad it wasn't. She didn't just die, and then he's like, "Okay, I'm going to win now," and that was kind of the end of it.
Eddie and Bert. What is this? A Sesame Street sketch?
Sesame Street sketch. Yeah, that's what it was.
Ernie.
That's the
Ernie
one.
is his name.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now the ending was good as well.
Yeah.
I would have kind of liked for him to lose. That would have been interesting. But
yeah,
you know what? He doesn't. It all works out in the end for Eddie.
Yeah.
I might just watch The Color of Money on my own. It can't be this good. Like, it can't be as good of a movie. But
yeah. I would say the part where, I mean, like, obviously, I did fall asleep at one point. So, I mean, I was tired, but I do feel as though that part of the movie was a little drawn out, perhaps a little boring. When it was mostly just became like a romance drama, really. Like, it was nothing really about the whole pool shark thing anymore. It's just like the relationship between these two people. And I don't know, it just felt a little drawn out, but
yeah, there's some stuff we didn't need.
Yeah, like a bit of a slog.
But then like him losing his nice thumbs.
Yeah.
Important. Playing that dude after his party or in his party was needed.
Mm-hmm. I would say, like, I guess those were all. Well, I mean, in the end, he does end up changing, because I guess he kind of lacks character the whole film, and he addresses that at the end. Like, I guess I finally have some character. He's really all he cares about is winning, and even in the near, like when he gets his thumbs broken, doesn't stop him from playing. He just goes back and plays again. So it didn't really teach him much. I guess it shows kind of what the type of guy he is, that it took his girlfriend dying for him to, realize the type of man he should be. So he was a flawed guy, but I guess it made it interesting. I don't think it was a flaw in the film. It was just like an interesting flaw in the character.
Yeah, this man loves pool.
He does indeed. He'll play for 25 hours straight, or whatever it was.
Yeah, 25. Piper Laurie as Sarah didn't make another film after this one until Carrie in 1976.
Goodness. That's a big old break.
She got an Oscar. Well, she raised her child, I guess.
Oh, okay.
She nominated for Best Supporting Actress for that film, for The Hustler, and then Carrie, she was nominated for an Oscar as well.
I haven't seen that movie, Carrie. I know what it's about, but I haven't seen it.
They remade it recently.
Yeah, they did.
Paul Newman had never held a pool cue before he landed the role.
I do remember thinking there was a lot of shots of like him actually taking shots. I mean, there was some where there was like zoomed in, so it was obviously like probably they brought in a professional to do these fancy shots. But there was a couple where you could actually see him doing them. I'm like, that's pretty believable.
Yeah, him and Jackie Gleason, I guess, practiced for a while.
Yeah, I think that shows.
Got good. Yeah. Yeah, I thought it was a good movie.
Yeah. Yeah, it was good.
Who doesn't love a good black and white? 94% on Rotten Tomatoes. IMDb gives it a rare 8 out of 10.
That is quite high for IMDb. This is true.
Yeah. I'm going to give you some Paul Newman facts.
I like Paul Newman facts. Is it going to be that he has his own line of salad dressing and that he's dead?
200 hard-boiled eggs were prepped for one of the film's most famous sequences. This is a Cool Hand Luke. Have you seen Cool Hand Luke?
No.
Oh. Well, apparently there's a hard-boiled egg scene where he had to eat 200 hard-boiled eggs, but due to editing, he only ate about 8.
Oh, okay. That is a fun fact about Paul Newman in Cool Hand Luke.
He was in Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, apparently.
He was in The Sting. That's a damn good movie.
Yeah, he had a hand double in The Sting, a magician who handled all the card manipulation and deck switching.
Okay.
Apparently he played a magician.
He didn't play a magician. No.
I don't know. Paul Newman looks very old in The Color of Money.
Yeah, probably. He was also in Slapshot.
That's right. Yeah, I should rewatch that movie. See, there's a Slapshot one. Oh, he was in Cars.
He was in Cars?
Apparently, the last film he ever did was Cars.
Okay.
It was also his highest grossing movie.
Oh.
There were no Slapshot fun facts.
That's okay. He played hockey. We know that.
Yeah. There's a second one. Slapshot 2.
Slapshot 2.
Probably was not in that one.
Slapshot 2 Reloaded?
It was a 2002 film.
Oh, definitely wasn't in that one. Well, I guess he was still alive, but...
Yeah, Slapshot. Okay, well, let's do scores.
Let's do it, Josh.
So move it on up. How did you like the acting?
Well, obviously the acting was quite excellent. I liked every performance, I think. And I thought a lot of the characters were pretty well rounded. And especially Sarah. She was probably my favorite character. But obviously Eddie was fantastic as well. Paul Newman. The acting was, superb. I'd give it a 9 out of 10.
I was thinking 9 out of 10 as well. I like Bert.
Yeah, he was good too.
I felt bad for his first sidekick.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Whatever his name was. Charlie.
Yeah.
Poor guy just disappeared. Yeah, I know acting. Easily, I'd say the best acted film we've seen in 2024.
2024, yes.
I mean, Saltburn was good. But
that's true. Anyways. That's true.
Mickey Rourke and The Wrestler as well. But
true.
Yeah, acting was good. 9 out of 10. I was going to say that before you said it. So,
sure, you're not copying me.
Thanks for that. Fine. Ending. I liked the ending as well. Well, I kind of knew what was going to happen. Obviously, he was going to go. He was gearing up to face Fats one last time. But you never knew. With this film, you don't really know what's going to happen. You didn't know if he's going to win or if he's going to learn a valuable lesson.
Mm-hmm.
He did both. Minnesota Fats quits. He wins the money. And then they had that, lovely conversation between him and Bert. And you feel good about yourself even though a woman is dead.
Right.
But Eddie feels good, and then it takes 26 years until we see what he's up to in The Color of Money. So if anybody's seen that, let me know if he's changed. And if he's remarried. I give ending a 8.5 out of 10.
All right. Yeah, you said it earlier that you maybe would have preferred he lost. Maybe made for a more interesting ending. And I think maybe I agree with that. But I did like the ending overall. He did. Yeah, he won, which is fine. Maybe learned his lesson a little bit. I think it was good closure for the whole film. I'd give it an 8 out of 10.
Okay. Then what would you give the film out of 10 overall?
I think out of 10 overall, given how much I enjoyed the acting, and the story was interesting. Perhaps maybe a little bit of a slog through the middle, but I don't know. Maybe that was a bit having to do with the runtime. Maybe it could have been a little shorter. I did quite enjoy it, though. I think I'd go maybe a little lower than you're expecting. I'd go 7.5 out of 10.
No, that's probably exactly where I was expecting you to go. Sounds like a 7.5 film for you. I mean, it's not Tetsuo.
No. Much different kind of film.
I'm going with an 8 out of 10 on this one.
Okay.
The acting was very strong. The ending was strong. I mean, the beginning was sucked you in,
Yeah.
Black and white, learning these characters. The middle was, little. I didn't fall asleep because I watched this film in the morning.
Right.
But, perhaps a little tough to get through, but it was character building, world building, relationship building. Very important to the ending. So I give it an 8 out of 10.
You give it an 8. All right.
That's the highest score I've given a movie since we have to go back all the way to episode 50, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, which I gave an 8.2. Well, I guess Barbie I gave an 8 as well. But which was 60,
bit stingy,
67,
aren't
but
you?
we'll go 50. Yeah, a bit stingy. I love my 6s, I love my 7s.
Right.
Anything higher than that, we have to go back 47 episodes. So, amazing.
Fantastic.
And that is The Hustler.
Hustler. It's a good one.
Man, Josh is giving you slam dunk after slam dunk after slam dunk, which we'll see in the Olympics soon.
I'd have to imagine.
What are we watching next time we reconvene?
Well, I jumped around a lot trying to figure out what movie I want to watch. Started in the early 2000s. Kind of went back to, there was one in the 80s I was thinking about. I landed in the 90s, the early 90s. We're going to go a bit of a foreign film. It's a French film from 1991. It's called Delicatessen.
Oh, like the deli.
Yep.
I don't know how to spell that.
Yeah, I don't know either. I usually get I get like Delica and it autocorrects for me.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I spelled it right. All those years of grocery store. There's a pig on the cover.
Mm-hmm.
Post-apocalyptic surrealist black comedy. Where have we seen that before?
Don't know.
I feel like just watched a post-op. Well, you know what? Okay, fine. We're going Delicatessen 98, which is a post-apocalyptic film, and then the film I have for 99, also a post-apocalyptic film. Probably less of a comedy, though. So
right.
We're hitting a mood.
I love it.
In this summer heat. But okay. Should be.
And it's on Prime Video.
For sure.
For sure. I checked. It is, but it's only on there for another like 13 days, I think it said, which is perfect timing.
Perfect timing. Thank you so much. Delicatessen. Man. And how do you find this one?
I've just reached in my little bag of tricks. I got a little insider source where I find my weird and wild films. And this was on the list.
It was released in North America as presented by Terry Gilliam, which is a Monty Python guy.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a Monty Python kind of
Terry
thing?
Gilliam. Are you? I thought that's the guy who did like Brazil. I guess that is a.
It's
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You're right. Terry Gilliam. He did have a hand in Brazil.
He did Brazil.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
Yes, he's known for lots of things, including Monty Python. He's in Monty Python and the Holy Grail. He's the guy who clacks the coconut shells for the horse.
Nice.
But yes, this is the film that we are watching. Looks interesting.
Should be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, 90% Rotten Tomatoes, 7.5. IMDb, on Prime.
Yep.
Love it.
What's there to not like,
It's probably 90 minutes.
It does feel like a 90-minute movie, doesn't it?
Ooh, 99 minutes.
There you go. It's in the 90s. We'll count that.
Yeah, because the next one is going to be 3 hours.
Oh.
So you should watch this film over 2 days.
I forgot that you've already told me what your next movie is.
Look, we're going big for 99 because for 100, you're probably just going to give me like, what's a Ben Stiller movie from
Ben Stiller
like
movie?
Accepted or something. Yeah. Never mind. Just because we did Mystery Men.
Oh, right. That whole thing. Mystery Men. If I were to go back and try to guess what I gave Mystery Men, it's got to be either a 4 or 5 is my guess. A 4 maybe?
You gave it a 3.5.
Okay. That seems right.
We should just do an episode where we go through every single episode we've already done, and I just tell you the scores.
I mean, that would be interesting for me, I think. Perhaps maybe not for people listening, but that's okay.
Primer, 2004. You gave it a 7.5. I gave it a 6.5.
Okay.
Episode 2, The One, 2001. I gave it a 5. You gave it a 5.5. That's all. I'm not going to go on.
Okay.
Because I didn't write down what episode 3 was. But I know it was Green Lantern, 2011. 4.5 for me, 4 for you.
I remember that one being not as bad as people say. I know that.
Yeah. Quite an interesting mix of movies we've done.
It is indeed. Eclectic, you could say.
Dr. Otto and the Riddle of the Gloom Beam.
Oh, Jesus. What I give that one? A 4?
You give it a 4. I give it a 7.5.
Yeah, I do recall you liking that a lot.
Just never seen that before. What did another Ernest movie?
You ever watch Ernest when you were growing up?
Well, yeah, but I don't remember it. And it would hit me differently now.
Probably.
As a 33-year-old than like as a 13-year-old.
I watched Ernest Goes to Jail a lot as a kid.
Maybe around Halloween we'll do Ernest Scared Stupid.
Yeah, I definitely have seen. I don't know if I've seen that whole movie. If I have, it was a long time ago. I don't really remember it. So
the one Ernest movie that I've seen the most because I owned it on VHS was Slam Dunk Ernest.
Right.
With Kareem.
Right. That's a good one. Can you name another movie we watched on the podcast that has a basketball player in it?
That has a basketball player in it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, was it Double Team?
Double Team. Little Dennis Rodman. And Mickey Rourke. It all it's all connected.
Yeah, our first French film next week.
Run
Lola Run, I don't think it's French.
No, it's not. It's German. I think you're right. I was thinking earlier of when I picked that movie for myself, if I was like, have I seen any other French films like that are definitively French that I can recall? And the only one I could think of was Amelie.
Right.
I don't know.
But we didn't watch that.
No, we didn't watch it for the podcast, but I don't really remember any other major French films I've seen. I'm sure there are some, but
I'm sure they have a dearth of films.
Oh, I'm sure. Yes, indeed.
We really messed up by not doing the one first.
For episode 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
Instead it was 2. But
Ballistic X versus Sever. That's a movie we watched.
yeah. Yeah, I recommend you going back, watching our old YouTube, listening to our old podcast episodes, because like we just get right to the point. It sounds pretty fresh, pretty springy, pretty. We talk like we break it down.
We do.
We broke down Con Air pretty good.
I think if I were to go back and just like scrolling through the episodes, I would recommend episodes like Idle Hands. I think our episode about Spice World was good. That's another one that I recall being good.
I mean, Run Lola Run, we gave a 7.5.
Yeah.
We both did. I mean, that was a good film.
A good movie, but I'm trying to think of like our good episodes in terms of like what we talked about. But it's hard to, I guess it's a little hard to remember that long ago. I think our Peanut Butter Falcon episode is good. Also a good movie.
Yeah. Also a good movie. I'll tell you our most listened to episode.
Still Con Air, right?
No, well, it's probably not since the most listened to one since we kind of moved to a different platform to do this on.
Mm-hmm.
But since moving over to like Spotify or to I guess Riverside to do this, Riverside. I mean, Primer is number 1, which is new. Primer wasn't number 1 for a long time. Waterworld was number 1. But for some reason, episode 1 Primer is getting a lot of listens.
People are discovering us. They got us, and they want to start from the beginning.
Yeah. So yeah, Waterworld, and Death Becomes Her.
Really?
Our 2 most listened to episodes. And then Snowpiercer, Mulholland Drive, Prince of Darkness. That was Prince of Darkness was when we watched it. Like it was the only one we've watched in person together. That's coming up on a year since we've done that. That was episode 65. And the only kind of new episode that's in the top 10 is Saltburn. But people love Ghost Rider, people love Dark City, Rosemary's Baby. Those are all our good listens. Snowpiercer. If I
were to try to think back what I gave that, I'd say probably I gave it either 5 or a 5.5 or maybe or something like that. But I don't know.
Yeah, 5.5. 5.5. Good job.
Mm-hmm. Makes perfect sense.
Yeah, makes perfect sense. Makes perfect sense to end the podcast.
To end the podcast?
Yeah, just to stop recording in the next 15 seconds.
Okay, I think you're right. I think we've hit just about the 50-minute mark. Actually, in about 15 seconds, it will be 50 minutes. So
we've talked about a lot of nonsense at the end here and at the beginning. Perhaps we'll look back at this episode in a year and be like, yeah, The Hustler. episode 97. That was one of our good ones.
That was a good one. We talked a lot of just random crap.
Did talk about just about nothing really.
Yeah, so that's okay. People watch Seinfeld, and that's a show about nothing, right? So
you're not wrong. Okay, well, thank you so much again for listening. I'm sure you got this far, and make sure to take a step out of your workplace and let somebody who doesn't work there know about us, so we can kind of branch out into other workplaces.
Yeah, if you have friends, just to tell them about us. Say, hey, do you guys you like to listen to something just kind of calming and has a bit of comedy,
Next time you're at the Save on Foods, standing in line at the Tim Hortons in the Save on Foods, start laughing. Have your headphones in. Just start laughing, and then the nice little lady will be like, "Oh, what are you laughing about?" And you can just be like, "Oh, I'm just listening to this new podcast. I mean, it's 3 years old, but this nice new podcast. You should have a listen. Your mother, my dad, the podcast. It's really good. It's about movies. I'll be like movies," and she'll be like, "Oh yeah, I'll tell my family," and that's how we grow.
That's what you want me to do, or the listener.
You or anybody listening.
Oh, okay.
Because I feel like whoever's listening has the opportunity to do that as well.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's sound advice.
Okay, great. Well, take care.
I hope you take care. I hope everyone listening takes care. And I bid you adieu. A farewell.